Hi, I'm Kat and I'm here outside what will be a very familiar building to you. The student unions use every day if I ask for privileges, discounts and the ever needed support. But should Leeds University Union be doing more to support Leeds community as a whole? I'm here to interview Ben Fisher, our community officer, to find out about his proposals to use some of the union's resources to help put an end to child poverty in Leeds. So let's go and see what he has to say. Hi Ben, thank you for coming today. I was just going to ask, so what extent is child poverty a problem in Leeds, do you think?
It's quite a big problem. It's not necessarily bigger than sort of average in the UK, but 22% of people, of sort of children that live in Leeds, live in poverty, which I think is a huge, huge problem. Yeah. And it also changes between area. So although the average is 22, if you're a child living in Hyde Park or Woodhouse, it's a child poverty rate of 46%. In Headingley, it's 19%. Kirkslett's 33%. So, you know, there's this inequality, which is itself an even bigger problem in the city.
Yeah. So how do you think the poverty sort of hinders the development of the children and the opportunities?
Well, it has an effect in pretty much every aspect of a child's life. Like, obviously, the main one would be sort of educational. Like, it's been shown that children from poorer backgrounds do worse at school, more likely to leave school early with worse qualifications, and that, you know, that can affect your entire life from there. But it's also things like having the opportunity just to, you know, sort of take trips out at the weekend. If your family can't afford, you know, to go a bit further out of where they live, you know, there's going to be things you never experience that other children just take for granted. Yeah,
just general experiences. Really.
Exactly, yeah.
So what do you think the union should do to help alleviate the problem?
Well, I think we're in a really good position because we've got so many resources, and we've got, you know, 32,000 members who are really passionate and really sort of quite lucky to be able to be in a position where we're coming to university. So we should be able to use some of those resources, whether it's, you know, allowing groups in to use our meeting spaces, or whether it's trying to actively lobby some of our members to get engaged with the issues. There's so much we could do. I suppose it's a case of picking what would be the most effective.
Yeah, I suppose it would be good to have like a link with the wider community and try and help.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that university students have a responsibility to sort of help solve this problem that's clearly sort of all around us?
I think as people we have responsibility to solve problems, and especially, I mean, the figure 46% of children in Hyde Park and Woodhouse living in poverty, these are people that live next door to us, people on our streets, and I think that take away sort of the fact that we're being students as individuals, we have a responsibility to stop this, and the union is kind of a really good way to do this, because it's like where we collectively come together, make decisions, pool our resources. So I think that's why it's so important that as students we come together to do it.
Like a central body and sort of get the message out. What sort of schemes are already in place to tackle the issue?
I mean, there's lots of bitty schemes around the place. I mean, there's lots of things that both Access and Community Engagement and we as a union do in terms of volunteering, sort of trying to give kids in especially sort of the local area chances and opportunities they wouldn't normally have. And the councils obviously works quite hard in terms of making sure that there are benefits available where necessary, and like trying to sort of alleviate the situation as much as possible. The exciting thing happening at the moment is there's a group called Disrupting Poverty in Leeds, which is a group of just interested people from around the city who are coming together and saying, right, so the council's doing one thing, but what can we as individuals and we as a community do? And that's something I've been involved with, and I think that looks like it could be very exciting, because it's just people from all over the city come together and trying to create something new.
It's good using initiative, I suppose. It shows that
Definitely.
they care. So how have your proposals been accepted by the union?
Well, I think sort of looking at the discussions online where the idea has been posted, a lot of people are very supportive, and I think a lot of people are quite shocked by the figures. I think people don't really realise the extent to which it's an issue, especially in our local area.
It's on our doorstep, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you think the most controversial points of this debate are about child poverty?
I mean, I guess what the controversial in terms of the union is, as a union, do we have a responsibility to put our resources into it? And I think that's something which is coming out in some of the debates. But I think more widely, it touches on lots of wider issues, like, is it an issue of structural sort of inequality? Is it the way we tax people? Is it the way our entire system works? And I mean, especially with the Occupy movements coming up sort of in London and around the world, it kind of feeds into that interesting debate quite nicely.
So wider repercussions, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So how can people who are really interested in the debate get involved?
Well, I think one thing that would be really great is if anyone interested in the specific proposal to Better Leeds were to come down to the forum and input their voice. So it's on the 15th of November at Devonshire Hall at 5:30, and that would be really interesting to try and get people involved. And then anyone that wants to get involved, like either contact me via email or come and talk to me, or look around your local area, sort of do a Google search, try and get involved with groups that are already working on our doorsteps, because I think any input they can sort of receive would be really appreciated.
That's good, because obviously there's lots of opportunities to get involved.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
thank you very much for this interview
No
today.
worries.
It's been really, really interesting.
Great, thanks. Hi, I'm Ben Fisher, the Community Officer at Leeds University Union. Please donate as much as you can to children in need. It's a great cause, and he's a really cool bear.